keeping up with social media trends might get you locked up. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a Massachusetts school principal who is being charged with basically embezzling $40,000 from the school to her own personal pockets to fuel an elaborate lifestyle, including 2 lavish trips to the island nation of Barbados. Now, this is not surprising. Ever since the scamdemic, pandemic, whatever you want to call it, scamming has been at an all-time high. From the really big scams that got unfurled during the scamdemic, like Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX, that whole situation, you're talking about billions of dollars, all the way down to a lowly PPP loan of like $1,000, $2,000 or whatever. Do you know that an estimated 50%, half of all the PPP loans were fraud? I'm talking about fake trucking companies, fake dental companies, just so much fake stuff, so much fraud. It was ridiculous. Although they said from the very beginning, hey, if you fraud this system, you're going to get prosecuted. It didn't matter. There were very little quality control checks on the PPP loans, and half of it was fraud. So when you see a social media influencer or a regular normie trying to be an influencer and they have an elaborate trip and they're in a nice car and they got all kind of stuff, you got to ask yourself, where did that money come from? Was this trip funded by ill-gotten means? What's really going on? And if you try to emulate that, you may find yourself in the same place where they may be, which is in the penitentiary making big rocks into little rocks. And before I go any further, we do have an article here. That's a young lady right there, the high school principal in Massachusetts. You see the headline, Massachusetts principal charged with spending nearly $40,000 of school funds on all-inclusive tropical vacations. You can't make it up. Again, if you see somebody on Insta-Snaps, books, MySpace page on a tropical island, sipping the margarita in a hammock or something like that, just pause for a minute and ask yourself, is this legitimate? Don't just hate right away. Don't assume that it's something illegitimate, but ask yourself, is it? It may or may not be. Don't just assume that it's legitimate from the beginning. Let's go ahead and keep on going here. And of course, I will link to this article in the description. So this is a video, but it's not really showing too much other than what's in the article that we are going to get through. All right, let's check it out here. A former Boston high school principal is charged with misusing nearly $40,000 in school funds for personal use, including 2 luxurious all-inclusive vacation trips to Barbados. Nia Wilson, who served as New Mission High School's headmaster for 13 years. Imagine that, 13 years, you're a school headmaster, and you decide to do something like this. Why? A vacation? Like, we're not talking about paying for medical bills, no emergency type stuff. It's not like, okay, my car got stolen and my insurance didn't come in or something crazy. You know, I'm not saying it'd be right to do something like this to steal. I'm just saying there's no reason that is on its face noble. This is just, I want to have fun. Anyway, she admitted to authorities she committed wire fraud totaling approximately $38,806 in the elaborate scheme, according to a DOJ press release on Tuesday. The 60-year-old educator, you're way too old for this. You're talking about me my age. You're way too old to be doing something like this. I could see if you were young and dumb, 18, something crazy like that. 60 years old on a vacation. Why? Anyway, the 60-year-old educator allegedly started requesting checks from the school's external fiscal agent account to be issued under other individuals' names in September 2006. Wow. So this has been going on for quite a while. 06 until 2019. So this is before the scamdemic. This is pretty interesting. And how did it go on for that long without being uncovered? Anyway, the New Mission School is an inclusive portfolio-based pilot program that serves grades 7 through 12. Now, what does that really mean? Are we talking about some kind of alternative school, a charter school? What are we saying here exactly? I'll talk about that a little bit more, perhaps in a separate video. Shout out to LeBron James. A pilot budget A public school budget like New Michigan's is typically overseen by an external fiscal agent that issues checks at an administration's request. So maybe this agent on the outside was not doing their job. Okay, that's her right there. So she admitted to it. She confessed. She would then fraudulently endorse those checks to herself and then deposited them into her own bank account. Wilson repeated the scheme for trips to Barbados in 2016 and 2018, and even requested the fiscal agent issue checks for two of her friends who accompanied the principal on the vacation. That's crazy. So it looks like the fiscal agent might be in on it. Okay, that's what it looks like, but I could be wrong. Quote, instead of working honestly on behalf of her students, Nia Wilson is accused of abusing her authority and using the school's budget as her own personal slush fund to embezzle tens of thousands of dollars to fund two all-inclusive vacations to Barbados for herself and for her friends, said Christopher Demena, acting special agent in charge of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Oh, boy, FBI on it. Oh, man, the DOJ, FBI, you going to the penitentiary ASAP. Misusing school funds, probably coming from the federal government. Yeah, you're toast. You're totally toast. Wilson pleaded guilty and agreed to pay restitution. She will appear in federal court in Boston at a later date. Wire fraud can land a person in prison for maximum sentence of 20 years, up to 3 years, supervised release, and a fine of up to $250,000. Protecting children is one of the very top priorities of this office, and threats come in all forms. Here, Ms. Wilson is accused of diverting school funds for her own personal benefit, said acting United States Attorney Josh Levy. Oh, man, Josh Levy. Oh, you're going to jail. We will not allow this type of gross abuse of authority and responsibility to fly under the radar. Individuals that take advantage of public trust to line their pockets will be investigated and held accountable. The DOJ added that the details contained in Wilson's charging documents are allegations till she's proven guilty. But she already confessed, so that's that. Wilson's misuse of funds comes nearly a year after a Catholic school teacher in D.C. was sentenced to 30 months in prison for embezzling $175,000 meant for student services. Wow. I mean, it's crazy. So in this case, well, in the Catholic school case, Bridget Coates, 49, used the funds to purchase designer fashion from luxury brands and to help her qualify for a home mortgage loan, among other purposes. See, look, we're not even doing things for what someone could consider a noble reason. You're talking about you want to get designer bags, a big house, stuff like that. And you have a job, so you just want to get more. You want to have more, live that luxury lifestyle without going about it in an honest way. You want to steal your way to a luxury lifestyle. It's not worth it. I promise it's not. You might be able to take a couple pictures and put it on Instagram, put it on Insta Snap, Face Chats, books. But then when you get caught, which you are going to get caught, you're going to misuse federal funds. They will catch you and they will sentence you immediately. Okay? You're not Hunter Biden. You can't bring crack in the White House and get away with it. You steal 1 red cent from the federales, you will get found. Okay? That's how they operate. So back to this. Coates was also ordered to complete 3 years of supervised release following her jail term and pay $175,000 restitution to the Archdiocese of Washington. So that is the article right there. Not surprising here at all. As I close, I want to say this. You know, people always say when it comes to education, oh, we need more money, we need more money, we need more funding. How much does it cost to teach a kid that 2 + 2 is 4, or to teach them to read, see, spot, run? How much does that really cost? The money isn't the problem. The problem is the parents, kids, and the teachers. Parents first. That's the first line of defense. If the parents have the kid in a bad home life, they're not raising the kids. It's just chaos at home, and when the child gets to be school age, they have no skills at all. I'm talking about they can't read at all. They can't read their own name, write their own name. They can't color in the lines. They can't count to 10. If they have no skills when they go to school, they're already behind. And that same kind of attitude and behavior is going to persist in their household all throughout the school career. So when the kid goes to school, he's not really caring about what's going on. And any kind of education is going to kind of fall flat because it requires home reinforcement, and the teachers, they're not really going to be the best teachers in an environment like that. And even if they are good teachers, it's hard for them to really be able to succeed in that situation. When I hear about cries for money, what really happens is what happened in Newark, New Jersey. Mark Zuckerberg gave the Newark public school system $100 million or more. I'll link to it in the box. And then there was an article written by Daily Beast or one of these publications. They said, okay, Mark Zuckerberg gave Newark $100 million. The consultants got paid, the contractors got paid, but Raheem still can't read. Throwing money at it is not going to fix it. You got to get down to the core of the problem, which is the home life of these kids. When they go to school, they don't care. And there's not much that can be done in that situation. The money at a certain point is going to go line some pockets and it might get stolen. So you can have the principal go to Barbados twice, not just her by herself, but also her friends. That's what's going on. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about a lot of this stealing going on? You got people taking money from the school. You got people taking money from everywhere. The scamming that's happening right now is at an all-time high. And a lot of it is just because they want to look cool on the internet. They want to post pictures on Instagram. I'd rather Photoshop myself in a picture in Barbados or Turks and Caicos or somewhere than to steal money just take the picture and brag about it. That's probably how they got caught, because there's a suspicion about what's going on with the money, and then all of a sudden they find you on your social media accounts or on friends' social media accounts with a margarita in your hand right there on the white sand. It's like, what's going on with this? Where'd you get that money from? And then they just put two and two together and get four. Now you locked up. For what? For what reason? Again, as I said from the beginning, keeping up with the Joneses just might get you locked up. So don't do it. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.